Welcome to Test What Teachers Tip Room. Here, you will learn useful tips on how to teach with Test What textbook to achieve the learning objectives in the curriculum. Join us for today's session.
Question and answer time. Online participants, we're getting ready for your questions. Meanwhile, I have one question for our English teacher here. And my question, funny enough, I wrote it even before Dr. Fadaka said her own, meaning that we're both thinking the same way. You said something, but there are things that you said that I'm like, okay, I will ask you later, because I've gone through that book and I didn't see it. You said students in primary 5 and 6 usually have writing and reading problems. Now, if in primary 5 and 6 you have writing and reading problem, it is not this book that is the problem, it is whoever is teaching them. So I want to ask you a question. How do you teach a child how to expressively write? This is a big deal because I have a friend that she can talk from now to tomorrow. And she's so expressive and very articulate. We'll ask her to write. It's a problem. So I want to ask you, as an English teacher, how do you teach a child? Because don't tell me, think about it very well. Don't give me wrong answer because you have Dr. Fadaka here. She's English. How do you teach a child how to read and especially write expressively?
Thank you very much, Ma. I have a student that I take. The boy is in America, but planning to come to write WAEC in Nigeria next year. So the problem the boy, the challenge the boy has is writing. He said he has tried so many times to write, but where he will be asked to write about 200 words, 300 words, he will end up writing 100, not up to the number of words given. So I gave him a question to write. I gave him an essay to write on. I didn't give him. I told him to pick any topic of his choice, then write on it. The class is usually it is an online class. Type whatever you want to write, type it, and let me review, or let me mark what you have. Let me score you. Now he typed the he wrote the essay, and according to what he told me, he displayed that from his writing skills. And from there, I understand the fact that he had writing challenge. So how did I get to improve him? The same essay he wrote was the same thing we worked on. I gave him a clue and I allowed him to explore them. Now, I made him understand something, that when you want to write an essay, have it in mind that you are building paragraphs. Now, the understanding of what a paragraph is will help you to go beyond even what is expected of you. Now, a paragraph is a unit of idea. You cannot write a paragraph and just write a sentence, 2 sentences, and stop there. Now, the next question he asked me then, how do I achieve writing more than 2-3 lines? Then I said, to achieve this, go by this principle. We have what is called points, we have what is called explanation, we have what is called examples. Now, to build a paragraph, work by these 3 points. You have a topic sentence you want to write on in your paragraph. Don't just express the topic sentence, explain it. And that is where you have topic sentence and supporting details. The supporting details will be where you have your examples, your illustrations, you want to make reference, flashback. Then from there, he was the one asking me, okay, can I add more to this paragraph? I said, why not? Add more to it. Then from the clue I gave to him, he started expanding the paragraph. And before you know it, we were able to reach 250.
Okay, fine. I can hear you now. But you see, I'm going to make some points to you now. What you have given us is how to write essay. Now, expressive writing, when you say a child cannot write, we're talking about building writers, building people who can express themselves. And because what you have told us is just about writing essay, the only way to make a child write and express himself is to use creative writing. And what do I mean by creative writing? You don't even tell a child, go and write about Nigeria. No. You get to the level where you draw different pictures. I will tell him, what do you see? Write it. You can draw a tree, a monkey on a tree, some bananas on the floor, a snake around it, a house around it, children around it. Say, what do you see? If you give it to 10 children, they will express it in 10 different ways. All you have to do is to guide and watch out for connections. Okay, your noun should be here. That's how to create writers. We're not talking about writing composition now. We're talking about creative, expressive writing. Because I want you to remember that there are individuals that naturally cannot express themselves. And you as the teacher, you're not even supposed to teach. You're supposed to guide. And not to say, write about this. You understand what I'm saying now? Because even you can learn from me. If you bring 3 children right now and say, look at this table. Look at these people sitting on the table. What's going on here? Put 5 children here. You will get 5 different points of view. And that's the only way you can raise writers. And that's the point I want to pass out across this evening. You can teach people how to write, but you must be creative in your thinking. And you must teach them only through creative writing. Like I always say, a dull teacher cannot produce smart kids. In your head, you have to be smart. And that's the only time you can produce smart kids. So do we have questions, Dr. Ganiu? Because people are already sending in questions here. Do we have questions?
It's already in that book. Even creative writing you are talking about, it is in the book. That's what I'm even trying to look for where it is. But I know I read it. It's in the book. You have to be able to, when you're talking about writing, at that level, it has to be creative. It has to be creative writing. Even last week we discussed it here when we were talking about when the secondary school teacher that reviewed primaries 1 to 3 book, and somebody asked a question from the audience to say, how do you teach children writing? And we talked extensively about creative writing. You can even ask, one of them can stand in front of the class. Correct me if I'm wrong. One of them can stand in front of the class, say, who is this? Isn't it?
You're right.
Exactly. And then you now ask them to start, writing. Exactly. It's in this book.
Do you be shocked that the person that you feel is far, somebody is going to say, Bumi is robust?
It's in this book. The creative writing thing we're talking about is in this book.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
People are taking you up from the questions I have here.
I think he's talking about somebody who wants to write WAEC English.
Yes,
But he said somebody student who come from the US to write. So he's talking about writing essay at the O level, not at the primary school level.
If you have enjoyed the session, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at Teachers Tea Room. Thanks for watching.